Howdy. Yeah, we just got done with our 11th pre-combine draft meetings, and I really wanted to thank Matt Berry and Kirk Parrish, Scott Fitter, Trent. Everybody was involved in the process. All of our scouts, the scouts' families, for having the guys be away so long. But yeah, it's gonna be a good class, and we're excited to get going. Get a bunch of our questions answered throughout the spring here. So it starts now. So go for it.
This time last year, just 4 picks to work with.
Yeah,
You got double
that was a
this
disaster,
time.
wasn't it?
You got to feel a lot better about that in terms of flexibility, being able to move around up and down the draft with 8 picks this time around.
Yeah, absolutely. All I was praying on was like, okay, let's just get a couple more picks. And I didn't think it was gonna happen like that, but no, we were. Our guys did a great job last year working the phones and working our connections and moving around and trying to fit the guys in that we thought would fit appropriately. So yeah, excited for those guys to jump into their second season and get going.
John, signing Greg Olson, just sort of how did that come together, and what was that a priority for you to kind of do something at tight end with the situation there?
Yeah, definitely. Russ was down at the Super Bowl with him too, and those two have been talking a bunch. But obviously he was released. I think right before that weekend or right after the Super Bowl weekend, and so we just got on it as quickly as we could, and got him in. Had a great visit with him. Great guy. Gonna help that room a bunch. Will's coming off his injury. Dixon that was injured last year. We'd love to have Luke back as well. But this is doing great. Greg's going to wear 88. I guess they worked out a deal, and the money's going to Disley's charity of his choice, which is pretty cool.
How important is it to the organization to get Rashad Penny going, after the first round pick and everything like that? He was starting to heat up before he got hurt last season.
Yeah, he was doing a great job. Unfortunately, had that, got his ACL, but he's doing a great job with his rehab. I'm under the impression he's doing awesome, and can't wait to see him, back in the building working and getting after it. We love to see him get back out there, and it's just an unfortunate thing for him because he was really turning the corner there.
Your expectation is that Will's back for week 1?
I don't know why he wouldn't be. I don't have a reason to say that he wouldn't be at this point. But he's doing a great job with his rehab. So.
About Rashad, you just mentioned him, but where is he at on the recovery?
He's still, I can't get into specifics on it, but he's just getting going. I mean, he's doing a nice job, but from a timing standpoint, I can't tell you, Bob.
You said earlier in the offseason, need more superstars, and then
yeah, I was so disappointed. Not in that, but I'm disappointed he cut his hair. I saw a picture of him, he cut his hair, so he had the big hair rock, and I thought he was going to keep it going for a little while, but Dave just showed me a picture of him with his haircut. But no, I agree. We all want superstars. We all want great players. We all, I think Pete would say the same thing. I mean, I don't, I stay awake at night. My gut turns all the time thinking about how we can improve in every aspect of our football operation, right? And we're doing it nonstop, and we have been ever since we walked in the doors here. So we'll keep it rolling.
Well, how involved is he on the free agent process? Does he come with a list of, hey, I'd like for you guys to pursue these 5 guys?
Well, he's a competitor, so he loves it. He's got a lot of relationships, works out with a lot of different guys, and he just knows a lot of people. He's a natural recruit, right? Because, I mean, look at our games this year. Like, why wouldn't you want to play with a guy like that, right? So he's just a natural recruiter, especially the way he's finished games, and guys want to play with a guy like that. He's a pretty inspirational dude.
What was your overall takeaway from just last season and sort of when the year ended, where you felt like you guys were, and kind of going into this year now, where you feel like you need to get better, or kind of where you sit as a?
It's all over. It really is. It's every position. That's why we're down here this week trying to figure out what our landscape's going to look like for the whole spring. And that's the 3 or 4 phases of free agency, the draft, trades, cap casualty guys, what have you. I mean, excuse me, it doesn't stop. But obviously, defensively, we were 26th, I think, and we need to improve our pass rush. We need to try to get the coaches as many players as we possibly can on both sides of the ball. But obviously, defensively, we were ranked a little bit lower than we were on offense.
This year, the schedule up here, just with everything kind of.
It's funky. Yeah, it's really weird. There's interviews. Starting. I think last night they started at 9:00, and so it's gonna be pretty interesting to see these guys working out in the evening. Jeff Foster and his group have done an awesome job getting this ready and getting us prepared for what's coming. And like I said earlier, Matt Berry and Kirk Parrish have done a great job of setting up our schedules and what that world's going to look like for us.
If you look at what DK Metcalf was able to do last year, do you feel like receivers are coming to the NFL more like ready to make an impact earlier than in past years, or what was it about DK that he was able to do?
I think receiver just in general is a position where you see more. There's more numbers there. That's the reality of it. There's more receivers than there are fullbacks or linebackers and every year it seems like these guys just keep getting bigger and faster, and it's amazing, going through our draft process, watching like one guy after another. It's going to be a very impressive class in that regard. I think DK came in and did a great job. He obviously trained big time for this event, and he carried that over into the rookie minicamp and then throughout the spring and working with Russ.
What do you make of LJ Collier's rookie season?
We were lucky that we had him. We thought we were going to lose him for the season that day, and we're lucky that we didn't have to place him on IR. We would like to see him. Obviously, we'd like to see him, make a little bit more of a dent. But his checkout meeting was awesome. He's really excited about next year and what that brings. So, yeah, we would have loved to. We had traded Frank, so we were really excited that we were able to acquire LJ. And then, unfortunately, he had that really funky ankle injury.
Do you have a sense of where he fits best and what your vision is for him having?
No, none. We don't have any sense at all. Yeah, man, he's a powerful rusher. He's got great hands. He can rush inside. He can rush outside. Rush at the 5, rush at the 3. He's going to be. We're excited.
Have you talked to Davian? I guess we're obligated to ask you about Davian and sort of the situation, and if you got a sense of.
I had a checkout meeting with the majority of our unrestricted guys, and we had a great talk. We'd love to have him back, obviously.
What's the priority? You mentioned the pass rush.
So we go through the priority of how. You want to write it down for you, Greg? Would that be easier?
Obviously position because of the market.
No question.
And with that in play, what kind of priority?
It's you get tired of me talking about it, but it's a landscape thing, right? Trying to figure out exactly, like at this point last year, I thought Frank was going to be on our team, right? So it's really like a daily or weekly process of figuring out how you're going to put this thing together. And we have some cap flexibility this year, which is great, but it's not just about this year too. It's just planning for the next year and the following year as well. We have to be cognizant of where we're going.
He told us that he came up to your office on cleanout day.
Well, I do that with all the unrestricted guys.
What did it mean to you for him to say, "I want to be here," and does that carry any weight?
It was great. I mean, I think he came in. He loved the culture. He loves the coaching staff. Loves the chefs, loves our equipment guys, and I mean he's a really fun guy, and he was a blast to be around, and I hope we can continue that.
John, you and Pete talk about
super disruptive.
You and Pete talk about grit, resilience, guys who overcome things. When you're evaluating somebody here, how much is that a factor if a guy has been through a lot of life and overcome stuff to get to this point?
It's a huge factor, and these interviews they're critical. It's going to be interesting this year. They've limited the number now from 60, but you have from 60 to 45, but you have more time with the players. So it'll be interesting to see how having that much more time helps. But it's all about answering those questions, and the grit part of it has always been a factor for us. We've learned along the way, trying to come up with a better definition for what grit really means. And I think everybody probably in this room is experiencing the same thing. But when you're overcoming certain things, you're coming over an ACL injury, the loss of a loved one, something like that. I mean, those situations are obviously hurtful, but they're character builders, no question.
Given the injuries at running back, is that a concern this offseason? Will you address that position?
Our injuries at running back? Yeah, I mean we lost 3 runners in 13 days or something like that, So I can't, I'm not gonna tell you like what positions, like what the priority is. Greg will get that to you later. Yeah.
Back both healthy by the fall, or?
Yeah, I don't know. With Rashad, I don't know. If day one, if he's gonna be ready to go, I would. I can't get in. I can't tell you that. But CJ and Chris, yeah. CJ's unrestricted, so let's see what happens there.
Seeing all the talent for the receiver group this morning, where does this group stack up compared to previous drafts?
I know. I don't want to talk about it. No, it's a great group, but it seems like the last several years it's been like that. And like I was talking about before. I mean, every year it seems like I say that left-hand column is where we have our receivers. It seems like there's always receivers all the way through the draft. That's why we were excited to jump back in last year and get Johnny Ursua, because he was still sitting there, and we just felt like we had to get back and get him. So, but this is a darn good group, no question. Their workout, absolutely, yeah. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, I think it's going to be. I can't tell you how it's going to affect us, but it's going to be affect part of our evaluation, no question. And we're going to have to study that and be able to talk through everything. And what does it mean? Is it more of a competition? How the guy compete? What his hands look like? What his eyes look like? His flexibility, all that stuff that goes into it. But the drills, I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a blast for the fans.
Bob asked a really good question about Jadeveon Clowney. Same kind of thing with Jaron. I mean, he's a guy you want back, but just have to see what the market looks like when it all comes together.
We definitely want him back. Yeah, absolutely. Great guy, great locker room guy.
You mentioned Luke. Is Luke Wilson? He'd be a guy you would want back?
Yep.
We didn't have a chance to ask you about Marshawn. I mean, since we
yeah, crazy,
Marshawn,
huh?
Yeah, I mean, just the way that whole thing went and how that developed, and looking back on that, and the whole thing of bringing Marshawn back.
Yeah.
I guess what's your thoughts on that?
Basically, we were at Dave and I were at a dinner one night, and he popped in and just sat down, started talking to us. It was during training camp, and I was kind of giving him some crud, and he was giving me some crud, which is, normal. And then I saw him maybe about 2 months later at Cliff Avrill's charity event. We had a similar conversation, and then I was talking to his agent Doug Hendrickson the whole fall. It's about, you never know you never know what's going to happen, And he was up for it. He went for it, and we're very appreciative that he did that.
Does that seem like an end there, or is there just a door
I don't
open?
know that. We'll see how the offseason goes. Probably. Well, there's a couple pieces to that, His rookie minicamp, he totally took charge, so he was unbelievable. He came in and competed with Matt Flynn and T-Jack. He didn't shy away from anything, so I think he was probably. I would have to say after that at rookie minicamp. Remember Pete wanted him to get mic'd up, and so you could hear him command, everybody in the huddle, and that's such a crazy weekend because you have so many guys working out, these tryout guys, and so he was just in command of the whole thing. So yeah, that's probably, that's what I would say.
When you're, planning roster building, to have the conviction and know that you're going to hand that big contract, and that's a big piece to the.
Well, it's awesome, right? Because you got your quarterback. With another hand, you got to balance the rest of the roster, right? So that's just a natural, it's a process for us, and you have to figure out who you're, we have to make tough decisions every year, and so you have to decide. Now, like this year, we have some cap flexibility, which is awesome, but you have to navigate through that and figure out how you're gonna balance your team.
John, when we have young guys that make big contributions to your team, how do you evaluate, or I guess measure, the progression that they'll make on the field versus what these prospects here at the combine will project to as pros, and evaluating how you can improve the roster for next year?
Well, me personally, I don't think you can generalize. Everybody's different. It's how we always talk about, what's his why, like what makes up the person, and what is that individual? How is he going to attack the offseason? With DK, I mean, there's guys like that just come in right away and have the confidence and the work ethic and the determination to, spend those extra hours. And then there's other guys that are just kind of figuring things out. And, it's part of, the whole challenge down here with, psychological testing and all the interviews that these guys go through. But, the question is, how are they going to play, and how quickly are they going to adapt? And it's probably the biggest challenge of the whole spring.
Last year you talked about trying to find guys that had that mindset to come in and take somebody else's job.
Yeah, right.
Were there other lessons that you've learned, like along the way, looking back at yourself as an early evaluator, that you kind of take with you moving forward as a general manager?
Yeah, absolutely. It depends on the position. I keep a notebook, go through all my stuff all the time. Kind of go back and, especially before the draft, kind of go back and look at, what decisions we made throughout the weekend and why we made them. Yeah. I'm not going to get specific about it, sorry. I don't want to share my stuff, man.
What was your
I don't want to get into Tua too much, to be honest with you. I just don't want to get into specific players and evaluating them and talking about them. I think he's a hell of a player.
John, when you said Rashad, you're not sure if
I'm not trying to be rude. I don't want to get into that.
When you said you're not sure if Rashad will be ready day one, is that a training camp? Is that a season?
Regular season, yeah. I just don't know the prognosis yet. I mean, he needs more time.
What was your assessment of the secondary last year? Obviously, you made the big move at mid-season with Quandre and all of that. But just, I guess, the overall of where that did, and, the corners and Trey and stuff like that, how they sort of came together this year.
I think just like every position, you're constantly like just, looking to tweak it and figure out how you get better at whether it's at strong safety, free safety. I mean, we obviously want to get better. If I told you we were, that we were satisfied with the performance, I'd be lying. So we all need to get better.
Do you have to get the nickel situation figured out this offseason, maybe?
Yeah, Ugo did a nice job when he got out there. We didn't play a ton of nickel last year, so you got to look at the nickel position like a starter, right? And Detroit got Coleman, gave him a nice contract. He did a great job for them again, but we need to keep preparing along the way. That's a starting position is basically what I'm saying, right? You're on the field usually 70% of the time.
If you have one you like, though, it seemed like you guys
Sure.
didn't really necessarily have one you felt confident in most of the season.
I think that's up for debate.
How did 4-3 work, do you think? The more base that you guys played this past season, is that something that worked?
Well, we definitely stopped the run. I think it's a better question for Pete, but we were very good against the run. I think there's things that, looking back that we'll evaluate and Pete and his staff will keep working through.
You mentioned this is your 11th one of these. Just how much year to year, even after a decade, do you feel like you guys are still learning and improving every time?
It's the same, right? We just, like I said, when you get done with those meetings, you're kind of like, whoa. It's a clean board, and then you build it, and right now we have I think we have about 185 guys on there, and we'll bring it down to about 120.
Clowney have a surgery? Did it go okay?
Yes, and yes.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
All right, thank you.